Welcome, my name is Tashar, this is StarMade. Today we are going to do another ship showcase, slightly different than the one last week, because this ship we're looking at right now, this is the Raider class Corvette, built by Direwolf, and he asked me to take a look at this ship. So I want to do a bit more of a build analysis and perhaps do some tips and tricks with this ship design, because this is quite a different type of ship than the one I looked at last week. Now, the first thing that I noticed that there's a bit more color in this one, so it's not all gray. So that's one of the main changes I noticed. And this design has a lot more depth as well. I already took a look at this ship myself before I started recording, so it's not really a blind reaction to this. Like I said, I wanted to do a bit more of a in-depth build analysis. So there's a couple of things I noticed about this design. I quite like how the hull is layered, in the sense that there's different elements like these armor pellets on the side like this, that give a bit of depth to the overall design. And especially in the back, the engines, as you can see here, have a lot more detail going on than the previous ship I reviewed. And apparently, what I read in the description, these engines can well, reconfigure themselves depending on the speed this ship is flying on. And they are docked entities, so yeah, it's not a fixed entity on the ship itself. It's got quite a number of turrets for such a small ship. It's called a frigate, but yeah, it's a pretty small ship for a frigate. It's got two beam turrets, one at the bottom, one at the top, and then this cannon turret here at the front. There's one issue I immediately noticed when I noticed this turret at the front. If you're in the cockpit, this is what you see. The back end of the turret. So, yeah, it's not really logical to have it there. It might be more logical to place it more at the front, at a lower level, so you can at least look out the cockpit and have a unobstructed view. There's a number of other details on here. For example, we have this little antenna dish communication array to the side. So it's a little bit asymmetrical because it's not on the other side. And we've got this very big open glass cockpit with again a additional core docked inside. Apparently, I was told this is for quick access to the ship while you're not at the actual ship core itself. So yeah, that works. You can jump in here, then use the arrow keys to go to the actual ship core. But yeah, there's not a lot of interior going on here. We've got a bridge, of course, and that goes into this area over here with a gravity elevator that goes down to what is basically a whole bunch of cargo space that you have. And this bridge goes out this door to your little shuttle thing bug. It's a one person only type of ship with a bit of storage in it. So it's basically personal transport to get somewhere to a shop or a planet or something like that. So yeah, as shape goes, I quite like where this ship is going. Like I said, it's a lot more details, a lot more depth into the hull design than I've seen in the previous ship. So I quite like how that was done. One thing I noticed as well is that as far as I can see, almost entire hull, I think this white, yeah, this white is the only regular hull. I think the rest is all these, yeah, basically paper thin hull. So there's no advanced or anything like that used within the ship. So it's a very light ship, I imagine, and probably pretty fast. I believe this was also a ship that was assigned a scouting role or something like that. But yeah, I'm not really a PvP or player that fights other ships all that much. I'm more of a builder and uh, yeah, more of a storyteller type of builder. So that's what I'm concentrating on. So yeah, as far as systems go, I think we need to make some modifications to have a better look at them. So let's grab my power tools and cut this thing in half. And here we go. One half ship. So now we can see where the systems are all placed. So there's a lot of power in this thing. And the rest is all weapons, shields, things like that. And you can clearly see that these pods at the back are the docked engines. So like I said, not a lot of interior going on. It's just the main room over here with the cargo. Then we've got this little room over here with the core, all nicely hidden within the belly of the ship. And then the bridge and this walkway at the top. And this leads to the landing pad at the back. One thing I did notice is all these mass enhancers within the bottom row of the ship over here. I don't think they're needed. There's not a lot on this ship that actually needs that many mass enhancers to move. So I believe that even the turrets that are on here are probably light enough to fall within the free mass range of being able to move around. So yeah, I don't think you need those. I think you can reduce those quite drastically, and then have space for other things. What I also noticed is, for example, these uh, mining beams over here. Yeah, exactly what is the role of this ship? If this is a frigate for PvP fighting, then I would assume it was more geared towards PvP fighting. Instead, this is more, as far as I have seen from the systems, an all-around ship for a player to get around, do some mining, do some trading, do some fighting, basically do everything for a bit, but not one specific thing. Yeah, 100%. So that's also something you have to take into account when you design a ship. Do you really want to have it be a specific role for the ship that you assign it and build to it? Or do you want to be a general purpose ship that you can use for multiple roles? Because it's okay, it can mine, but it's not a very good miner. But yeah, it can transport quite some stuff here because there's quite a lot of cargo space available, but not as much as a dedicated cargo ship. So yeah, what's exactly the role of this ship? It's something you have to take into account. There's a couple of things as far as designing this ship goes. Like I said, I would change myself, but that's just my personal opinion, of course. That could probably improve some of the things I've noticed about this design. For example, moving this turret to a different position, because this position here is also very, yeah, limiting its firing position, because this bridge is blocking a whole lot of it for the firing arc this turret has. I believe that if you place it more at the front, it can even fire more backward than it can right now. But it will probably be even better if you would have a turret on the side. But yeah, as far as looks go, if you going purely for aesthetics, then probably at the top would be better balanced. Speaking of balance, I think I'm going to try to change a couple of small things on this ship layout to see if you can balance the look and the silhouette of the ship a bit better. See how that turns out. And here we go. These are small modifications I made to the hull just to illustrate a point. I did remove all the turrets because I just wanted to have the hull on its own to show you a bit more about, like I said, the silhouette. that the ship has, and how you can change it. Because as you can see, I mainly concentrated on the top part of the ship, the part with the cockpit. I made it a more streamlined line, so it looks a bit more predatory, or more a bit, or yeah, a bit like a crocodile in my opinion. This glass cockpit, this long part, looks a bit like the head of a crocodile in my opinion. And I also built this line at the bottom over here. This is just to illustrate that I believe something needs to go there to bridge basically this section of the ship with the front of the hull over there. I'm not exactly sure what, but I just wanted to place something there that's yeah, something needs to fill up this space, this negative space over here. There's also a couple of other things I added that might be fun to do and might work for a ship design like this. As you can see here, because I changed this design and line of the cockpit a bit, it neatly lines up with this back section now for the landing pad over here, and I raised it up a bit with this platform over here. So now if you go inside, this is all on the same level as the bridge and the cockpit over here, so now you don't have to go up 2 blocks to get into the cockpit. I didn't put a lot in the cockpit over here, just a couple of computers to show where you can do things, but there's a lot of space left over. And I did something fun here at the front. As you can see here, there's a button. This is for the core. Yeah, if you want the duct core to get into the ship quickly, you can do some fun stuff with it by hiding it basically when you don't need it. So just a duct entity with this hazard stripe block to close it off, and then I just switch position when I do need the core, so it still works as it should be. Also changed this space a bit, added a bit more detailing in the walls, etc. and downstairs, and I added a actual elevator within this corner instead of the gravity elevator that it was before. So I've got this frame over here, and then this gets a platform, yeah, that goes up and down like you expect from an elevator, of course, and the rest you can use for cargo space, so that's still plenty of space. Also added the teleporter over here, down here, as a mirror for the elevator, and then this was the entrance to the core room, the actual core room. I added these doors over here just to give it a bit more of a fold and secure like look. So if we go out of the core, you can see here, junk. We can go outside like this, and we got some spots here for computers and the main cargo storage. So I think these are some small changes that could help this design. Although I haven't changed all that much, just basically only the shape of the front of the cockpit, and then did some additional detailing for the rest of the hull over there. For example, I made this particular spot for the top turret. You can add that to the rest of the hull as well for spots for other turrets. So I hope you liked this small change I made. Let me know what you think about this design, about this change I made, and if you have other ideas for that. That's it for this ship, but that's not the end of the episode yet, because I want to show one additional ship in this ship showcase episode that I downloaded this week as well, that I quite liked. So let's jump to that one. The second ship I wanted to show this episode is this one. This is the Burning class heavy corvette, built by, I think, Patrick 55, if I pronounce it correctly. Probably not, but yeah, that's what I'm making of it. And this is a very fun little ship. Like I said, it's a corvette. It's a heavy one because it's got a lot of weaponry and turrets. but this ship has quite a lot of nice features. The overall shape is very simple. It's basically this tube-like structure with some additional ribbing details, and this spinny bit at the front, and then these armor panels on top of it with the main bulk in the middle here to support the main turret at the top. And then of course you've got some doors over here. Here we go, some nice plants over here inside, and this is a door, and you can already see it's a rail door that leads to the engineering section. Here you go, because this ship is basically in line in what I like to do as well. Lots and lots of rail features. Ah, I haven't even noticed that one yet. This door is on a timer. Nice. So it closes automatically. So for example, this engineering section over here, you can press, oh, I have to do it correctly. Press this button. Here we go. Then this closes up. So this is basically how you maintain your engine. And you can open it up. And then if you go here, we've got some medical supplies in the beds, some small interior things. This is more beds for additional crew. And then over here we've got a small bathroom. And then this was, I think, yeah, some cargo space. So it's not a lot of interior because it's not that big. Then this leads to the bridge. And the bridge has the teleporter over here as well. And some additional medical supplies. And a very fancy chair for the captain. So if you press this button over here, it rotates and then moves to the core. So yeah, like I said, lots of nice little details like that with real logic. So very immersive. The only thing that's kind of a waste is yeah, things like this. It's the fault of the game. We can't do anything about that. If you have a slab, or at least one of the slab variants next to a fall block, then yeah, it does this. You can look through it. So basically you can only fix that by using a different height of slab. But yeah, a very small ship, but lots of nice little features, and it's yeah, has quite a punch for its size, because it's got a lot of turrets and yeah, and systems. And yeah, I quite like this ship, so I would suggest you check it out and download it for yourself. That is really the end of this episode, so I hope you enjoyed it. I'm still working on my factory ship, so I'm hoping to get an episode about that out in the near future, because I am nearing its completion already, at least as far as exterior and interior layer is concerned. I just need to add a whole ton of details. So there's still going to be a lot of work, but yeah, like I said, it's more or less all locked in as far as the hull and interior spaces is concerned. So look out for that one. Hope you enjoyed, and see you next time.